Alright, in this application video we are going to start to tackle a secondary hull. We're going to start off with the belly part of it and then move on to the sides and a little bit of the top side. So I've already cut out my belly pattern out of the blue sheets. There's also included in the kit is a gray sheet. The gray mask is fine to move pieces from this area to your colored side. The blue tends to get a little bent out of shape, but I'll show you how that goes. So what we're going to do is leave the gray one for now till we get to the painting, and we'll start laying this the blue mask up. I've already done some pre-cuts already. I already got the clear transfer tape on top, and I've also cut out these 4 holes that will be fitting over the phasers. So let's get to putting these on. I'm going to start in this corner. I'm going to run this way and this way to lay this one in. Now for the second one, we're going to start in this corner, work our way down this way and up this side. Third one will be in this corner, and so on. Now don't worry if you don't exactly expose this hull line. I mean, the whole idea is that we don't want to put paint in there. If the masks are really close, that's okay too. It's just, you don't have to put those other pieces on like we did on the hull layout. And the last one. And just repeat the same steps on the lower side. Start in this corner here. And the final one. So like I said, I like to leave a little line on here. We kind of rushed our way through this just to kind of give you an idea how these get laid out. But after you're done all this, we can go to sheet 14. I do have a whole bunch of hull lines that you can just pull off and use these little pieces to kind of fill in the holes if you don't want to paint the hull lines. So now I'll explain to you why I created the gray sheet, number 22, that has sides, both sides, and the belly pattern in the gray vinyl. The gray vinyl doesn't stick that well. It has a little trouble releasing from the clear transfer tape. That's why I use the blue or the black, depending on how much detail we want on it. But the way the gray is going to work is, rather than pulling these pieces off, like I said, as you pull these pieces off, sometimes they distort. Sometimes they wrinkle, they might not sit down again. Even though all the tests we did, they do. I thought it was just more comfortable to give you guys another gray sheet, which would help you out a lot. So going back to the paint guide from Trek Modeler, that'll show you how we paint up the bottom, what colors he uses, gold, green, reds, and blues. So I'm going to show you just what I'm talking about on as we pull stuff off. So let's say, for instance, we want to do these circles, which were red on the Trek Modeler, and we pull these off. Now you can see as we put this down, you can see how it's curling up. It doesn't sit down very well, and sometimes you even wrinkle the side where you pull it off. So rather than fighting with that one, now you just go back to this piece. You paint this red. Now you go back to the piece you've just got on the gray, and you can pull these up. The grays come off really easy, but like I said, they don't stick very well. This is an exact copy of that one. So this gray, after you've painted this now red, you can put this gray dot back on. And you've kind of killed two birds with one stone. You now have a nice vinyl that will go back off over top of that. And now that'll also tell you that you painted that area already, rather than putting the blue back on and worrying about it. So again, we'll try another piece in here. Let's just take this piece off here. See what I mean? How this is all tearing. So this piece that we're removing right now is this green. Like I said, I'm not going to go through the whole coloring or the whole painting scheme, but I'm just going to give you kind of a quick rundown. So that we need green, so we would paint that green, and then to put it back on, all we do is we pull up the mask that's here. That comes off fairly easy. We don't need this piece yet. This one. And then once you paint your green, being that these are exact, you can lay your gray on. Your green is now covered. You can move on to the next color. So that's why the gray masks are there. Use the blues to start yourself off with. Like I said, it sticks a lot better than the grays do, but the grays really help out for doing this little area here. Alright, let's move on to the side of this secondary hull. Alright, we'll get to laying up the secondary hull port side. That'll be all these areas in here. I already got my top row already cut out and the clear transfer tape put on. I kind of leave them in the orientation I'm going to put them on, but what I found in going through testing is sometimes these will get turned around. So on your sheet here, it actually shows you an exact representation of each piece we'll be putting on. So just in case one of the square pieces gets flipped around, you can actually look at it and get it in the right orientation. Alright, well let's start on the top row. Okay, for the top row we're going to start right in the corner here. Just off the hull line on the bottom and the hull line going up. Now for the next 5-6 pieces running along this side, we're going to be starting on the lower corners. Close to the one we've just installed. And just a little bit off the grid line, or off the hull line. Now this section here, right where this the shuttle bays or the docking areas, I've tried to cut this out on the mask, and every time I put it in, it never seems to line up. So I've just left it out. So if you want to mask off that area, if you've already pre-painted that, mask it off, and then it doesn't really matter where you lay in this mask. Everything will work for you. Like I said before, I'm showing these application videos on my unassembled Enterprise, so sometimes it makes it a little difficult to get the pieces to lay down properly because the whole thing's moving around. But I guess once we get it all glued together and painted, everything should go better. Oops. There we go. Okay, that's the top done, so what we'll do is we'll start on this one here and move across to the back. Alright, just like the first row, we're going to start in this corner right here. Line up hull line this way, and then the hull line going down. Start in this corner. Right, next one. You'll probably get these a little bit lined up better than I am doing right now. For one thing, your hull will be finished, and I can't really stick my head over it to line it up because I got to keep my head out of the camera. So, but you kind of get the general idea of what we're doing. Like I said, I like the blue mask for this. It peels off, this clear peels off so much better with the blue. The blue sticks way better than the gray does, but the gray is really good for certain applications, and I'll show you that here shortly again. I tried to do the whole side of this secondary hull in one piece, but it's so hard to lay down, the wrinkles and everything else. This is just a way better way of getting your pieces lined up. Alright, so that side's laid up. So now I was talking about the gray. This is again, this is the paint guide from Trek Modelers. So we're just going to take this section off right here because we're going to paint a blue section. Alright, so this piece didn't come off too bad. It's curled. You could probably, if you wanted to, lay it back in without any issues, but you know, it's probably just better to pull all these off, paint your blues, whatever, then find your third one in. This guy right here. And then using this one is a lot easier to put back in. It's the same cut, so it should fit in there exactly. So like I said, that piece fits in really nice, and it also it tells you that that piece has been painted. You don't need to pull that one off again until you're finished all your Aztec. So we'll lay up this side here and the back part of the shuttle bay. Alright, here's the two sections we're going to be working on right here. We'll bring in this locator. We're going to start right on this corner. We're going to line down this side, and then we're going to line along the hull line this way. For the back piece over the shuttle, starting on this corner and aligning across this way. Take your time on putting this together. So we're going to start right in this corner, like I said. Just stay off of the hull line a bit. Work your way to center. And then we're going to just run the hull line right across this side. And then just slowly tack her in place. Like I said before, you might get a few wrinkles. Don't fret about it just yet. They'll come out. It's even harder for mine. Like I said, this model's not put together, so let's see how it goes. Okay, there's a few things here I purposely didn't do because I just want to go over them with you again. One of them I didn't cut out the windows, so this piece should just come right out. We don't need that piece. Like on the very first video, we had those little bullets we were talking about. There's two small dots and then kind of an oval on here. I did not pull these off of here, because this is more just an application video to kind of show you where everything goes, but you can pull them off when you need them. They're really small, and like I said, I'd rather pull them off before you do the mask. I don't want, you can end up scratching the hull this way because these pieces are really small. But if you take your time, I'm just here to show you. You can do that. Alright, we'll move on to the back part of the shuttle bay. Alright, so I've got this piece cut off for the back here, one thing I've did on this piece is I've actually I cut out those little bullets. I don't know if you can see them very well on here. The little bullets, I cut those out, and I also cut this square out that sits right over the rear phaser bank. And when I laid the clear mask over it, I also cut that off. It'll help you lay this up a little easier. I'm going to start this right on this corner and work our way to the back and up to the top. Alright, let's just bring in the paint guide. I'm just going to give you a quick little rundown on the mask the way we've done it here. So we have these little blue squares. So what I would do is find yourself an old piece of mask, or the paper that's on the mask. And let's pull these up. Now these are small enough they're not going to distort that bad. So the reason I pull those off is, like I said, now we'll paint this blue and then we'll lay them back in. So once you paint them blue, then you can come back here and pick these up, lay these back in. Like I said before, if you lay it, if it's not seating just perfectly, it'll turn dark blue. But other than that, we put them back in. Before you paint the blue, obviously you'd mask off these little bullet areas. We don't want to paint those blue, they will be gold. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to pull these sheets off here. We'll pull these sheets off here, we'll paint the gold, we'll put the sheets back on. Then at the final end, we're going to remove all these little lines. And these lines just stay on here until you get your gold done. Then you can pull all these guys off. We don't need to keep these because once you've done this, you'll be shooting your gold on here, and then you can pull all the masking off, and that's that. The little back phaser area, the little area that's yellow with the little red end on it. So what we've done is going back on the same sheet we got this on, you'll see there's one sitting at the very end of that. So let's cut that one out. I'll show you how that one gets done up. Okay, so what I do is I put the clear on here. And this is what's going to happen on all the phaser banks on the ship. Take the blue circle out, then put the clear on it and just cut through the clear this hole. That's so you can line it up. That's it. Okay, let's take this off. Like I said, this will be for all the phaser banks. The back ones are a little larger than the rest. I'm going to do it on this side because we have masking on this side. But all you're going to do is you're going to put this right on the hole and kind of line up the square. And then press it down. Again, if you've got a piece, there's a little ridge in here, you can rub that in. Okay. Let me pull this off. Okay. Now bringing back our little sheet here, the first thing I would do is there's a little square here right on the front, right on the top. Just find that end and pull this off. Save this piece. So now you can paint this all yellow. Paint this all yellow and bring this piece back in. So now, like I said, we've painted this all yellow. We're going to put this mask back over. Just line it up the best you can. So now this mask will now protect the yellow you painted below. Now you can paint this the gray, and then you can cover that up with a piece of masking tape, And then when you've painted the gray on there, then there's this second little layer in here, which is for the red. So now you pull that off. Now you paint this red. Pull all your masking off. Phaser banks are done. I'm going to pull off a few of these masks just to show you what we've done, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we pulled off some lines to show you the Aztec pattern that you will achieve on your model. Hopefully this application video helps you setting up your mask design. Like always, if you've got any concerns, comments, please drop me a line. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you're working on a project and you'd like to send me some photos, I'd really be curious to see what you're working on. Okay, we'll see you on another application video when we tackle another section of the enterprise. Thanks for watching.